Hello everybody! Today I'm doing my cross stitch work in progress and finishes update, and I'm also going to be bringing you a cross stitch tag, which is really exciting for me to do. I was tagged by my friend on here, May, I think that's her name, or she changed it to May Stitching. For some reason it's still, oh no, it's normal now. It wasn't before. Before when I looked at it, it was still May and the numbers, but now it's Stitching May. I'll link her channel below in case you're not subscribed to her, which I think like pretty much everybody who stitches on here is subscribed to each other. But she tagged me to do this tag, which was pretty cool because I've never seen a cross-stitching tag. I struggled so hard this morning to do this video. It's really overcast outside today, really windy, so it keeps going in and out with the sun, so I turn orange or whatever, and I'm wearing an orange top, so I look orange all over, and then the lighting changes, and it's just, I just hope like you can see my work. That's all I care about right now. So today I have 2 work in progresses and 3 finishes to show you, which is really exciting for me, so let's get on with the video. Okay, I'm going to show you the work in progresses first, and then the finishes last, and then the tag after that. But I did work a little bit more on that, what's it called? The Thread That Binds sampler that I was doing for my husband by Mosey and Me, and it looks like this. I showed that in my last video. I did a little bit more work on this. This thing it's a beast. I can work hours on this and it still seems like I haven't done anything because the stitches are so tiny. Like, I did one cross stitch, which was on 40 count linen before, and it was the Wieners, the Wiener, Halloweener one that I did last October. And it wasn't as bad, but this one is just, I just feel like I work on it and nothing gets done, but I'll show you what I've done. And there's a thread hanging out because I was like, I'm gonna finish the throw and then I'm gonna give in. So, and it's folded up because I'm a bad person. I didn't roll it, I folded it. So that's that. You can see that I worked a little bit on those flowers over there. Let me get closer. Right here. And these stitches under here, what I'm putting out, I hope you can see it. These were pretty cool because they're not cross stitches. They're just, I'm not quite sure what you call them. Let me see if I can find out on the pattern. They show them and how you do them. Well, they're big, really long cross stitches, and then you wrap them into 3 threads. If you guys know the names of those stitches, let me know, but it's really pretty, but that took forever for me to do. But it's coming along. I think once I get, you know, holiday stitching done, I'll hit the ground running on this one and get it done. Because I'm going to take on a very big project next year after the holidays. I'm going to try not to do anything while I do that, but that'll be in an upcoming video. My next WIP is a WIP I didn't show you guys, but I showed you the pattern I bought in Maine. I wanted to start it because it's kind of like a holiday pattern. It's the little Frosted on the Pumpkin by the Cricket collection. So this is my progress on this. And you can see I got his hat all done. I started him on Friday and it's Tuesday. But he is giant stitches. This is, I think, 11 count fabric, so the stitches are huge. So even though it looks like I've done a ton, just keep in mind the stitches are very big, so it's easy. And then I did a little bit of the actual pumpkin yesterday. So that's him. So I showed you guys this Halloween stitch last time I did a WIPS video about a month ago or so. And I was so close to being done on it, but I had to wait to finish it because I needed more thread to finish it. I should have and could have done this in DMC Black. I have a million skeins of that, but it actually came with a free sample of the silk thread that I did this in. It was a full skein of that. So I figured I could just finish it in that because it came with it, but of course I ran short and I had to try to find that thread. I think I got it through the NordicNeedle.com because that's the only place I could find it. 123 Stitch didn't have it. Annie's didn't have it. I went crazy trying to find it. Then once I found it, it took like 2 weeks to get here. But I finished it right after Halloween. And here's what it looks like. Let me make sure my charms are all right. It looks like that. while I was waiting for that thread to come in and some thread to come in for my big finish, which is the fairy, which I'll show you next, I decided I was going to do a little ornament, or start my ornaments. So I did one for myself, and it looks like this. And he needs to be finished, I know that. Well, I call him a him because it's a little deer. And I think he's really cute. This is from the Just Cross Stitch 2013 ornament book. And no, his leg's not broken, it's just bent. I'm going to finish it as a flat ornament with some, you know, cording around it, but I'll show you when it's finished. I plan to do quite a bit of ornaments this year. Once the pumpkin's done, I'm just going to do ornaments, and I'll show you them when they're all done. Now here's my big finish. If I remember back when I started this, it's probably almost a year ago, but I don't write this stuff down, which I probably should. So this took me so long to do, and I'm so proud of this, and my mother is absolutely going to love when she sees this. I've sent pictures to people, and you know, I've showed people who've come over, and they're absolutely floored when they see it. And I'm not being conceited, but this is the absolute proudest cross stitch that I've ever done. And this is my mother's fairy, and it's completed. So I finished this last Tuesday. I started to bead it on Monday last week, and I said, well, I just have the beads left, so I'm gonna finish it Monday. It actually took me 5 hours a day from Monday to Wednesday. Actually, I finished it Wednesday. 5 hours a day from Monday to Wednesday to put all these beads on. There's over 400 beads on this project. Absolutely crazy, but it's beautiful, and I love it, and I know my mom's gonna love it. I ordered the frame for it, so I will show you guys when it's framed. Okay, now I'm going to do this cross stitch tag, and if you're a stitcher and you haven't been tagged to do this, just go ahead and do it. And if you're not a stitcher, I recommend that you start stitching because it's like the best hobby in the world. So here's the tag. The first question is, how did you start, or who introduced you to cross stitch? I started cross stitching back in 2001 when I was pregnant with my son. I was actually out on maternity leave early from work, like a month early. Usually go out 2 weeks, and nowadays you don't go out at all. You go up until you have the baby. But I had sciatica really bad in my back, and I worked on my feet all day, so I got to the point where I couldn't move very well. So I was out of work early, and I picked up a felt applique stocking to do. And we were all sitting around the table one day, and I was with my sister-in-law, and she was working on a sewing piece, and I was working on my applique stocking, and I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, this is cross stitch. And I'm like, I looked at hers, and I looked at what I was doing, and I'm like, I want to do that. So I picked up a kit. I can't remember what it was, but I picked up a small kit, and she showed me how to do it, and I just, little by little, I stitched from here to there. That's pretty much where I got started with it. I was a casual stitcher up until I got hurt in my car accident 4.5 years ago, and I wasn't able to work anymore, and I really started stitching then. And I haven't stopped, and I never will. Number 2 is, do you have a favorite theme or designer? And I have a bunch of favorite designers. I love Bent Creek. I know May said that. I love Little House Needleworks, Country Cottage Needleworks, By the Bay Needle Arts. I love, let me see, there's so many. I don't think I could name them all. Just Nan's another one. The Sweetheart Tree. Oh my goodness. Joan Elliott, obviously, the fairy. And my themes that I like fantasy, like fairies, and country-esque type stuff, you know, like the Little House Needlework ones. Nautical themes, you know, when I show you, like, I do hauls, or some of my finishes have nautical themes to them. Mermaids. I love mermaids. So, yeah. Number 3 is, what floss brand do you use? I'm a person who tends to like to order everything that's supposed to go with the pattern just because I want it to look like what I see. However, there are times when I'll look at a pattern, and if I think that it would look the same with the DMC, I'll just use the DMC. Like with this one that I showed you guys today, this was supposed to be done with silk floss, which was like $6 a skein, I think. And I'm like, it's an ornament. So I just did it in DMC, and I actually changed this gold garland that's on the tree was supposed to be the same that's in the scarf, but I put metallic thread in it. So, you know, it's cross stitching. I think that once you get to a certain point with stitching, you can just eyeball it and decide if you want to use what it calls for, or you want to use, you know, DMC or whatever. But I'm definitely a DMC girl. I like over-dyed floss and hand-dyed floss. Weeks Dye Works and Gentle Art sampler threads are beautiful. But I'll tell you right now, even with Thread Heaven, I find that they tangle so bad when I use them. But DMC, like when I did the fairy, is completely done in DMC except for, you know, the braid, the metallic braid. I had like no problem with tangling, but when I work with over-dyed thread, it tangles like crazy. I hate that, but it looks beautiful. Okay, the next question is, what is your fabric of choice? And I like to stitch on linen. I prefer higher count numbers, but like I said, no, number 40 is crazy, but it looks gorgeous because it looks like your stitches are sitting right on top of the fabric. There's no obvious holes. I don't like stitching on Aida anymore because it doesn't look right to me. It looks like your stitches are flat. If you like stitching on Aida, that's fine. I don't prefer it. I don't mind stitching on even weave, you know, like Jobeline. Is that how you say that? I guess. But, and I do stitch on it sometimes, but I do prefer linen, like 32, 38, 40-ish. That's fine. I even do stitch on 28. Sometimes the fairy was done on 28 count linen, so linen. Number 5 is a funny question, and when May did this tag, I was laughing. It's, do you use a needle threader or are you a floss licker? And I'm like, I laugh to myself because I'm totally a floss licker and I don't care because it doesn't really do anything to the floss, and I find needle threaders are just, they slow you down. I think I used one once and it broke. It was the one that looks like a buffalo head nickel, and it was cheap, I'll admit that. I think I got it in like a sewing kit, but I like my floss and I don't care. Number 6 is what kind of stitching frame do you use? I prefer Q-snaps only because I've had so many bad experiences with hoops. I actually have a project that I stitched that I've never shown anybody because it has hoop marks in it, permanent, and it's in my craft room and it's against the wall, and I'll hang it up one day, but I did everything to get the hoop marks out of it and I couldn't, and I just hate hoops. But you can see I used a hoop for this because I didn't have a Q-snap small enough to fit it, but it's my fault. I didn't clean the frame, and I take this way too seriously. But yes, I prefer Q-snaps. Number 7 is, how many projects have you finished? And this is going to take a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My dishwasher's going off, so I'll be right back and I'll count that and I'll let you guys know. I want to say it's about 18, but it could be a little more that I forgot that I stitched that I gave away. I think it's about 19. Yes, 19. So, 19. Number 8 is, how many completed works do you currently have displayed in your home? And I just counted and I believe it's 11, unless I have one hiding where I forgot I put it somewhere. Number 9 is, do you do more stitching for gifts or keep them for yourselves? I keep more for myself, but I have given quite a few away. Not quite a few, I've made 3 for gifts. No, 4. I did 2 for my best friend. When I was younger and I just started stitching, I made her a tiny little piglet, and she still has that, and she has it in a frame in her house. And I made her swan. I did Roy Orbison for my dad. I showed you guys that a long time ago. And my mom's fairy. I don't know if I've done any more gifts. No, I keep most of them. Number 10, what is your favorite project or finish you are most proud of? My mother's fairy, by far. I am so proud of that. Oh, I am. I can't even look at it. It's just so gorgeous. No, yes, I am so proud of that. It's an accomplishment and a half for me, because a couple years ago I would have started that and not even come close to finishing it, but it's gorgeous. Number 11 is what has been your least favorite or worst experience stitching? I'm going to show you that. This is what I was just talking about not too long ago. I never showed you guys this ever. It is framed. You guys are probably like, why do you hate that? This I did probably back in 2012, early, or 2011. This has hoop marks in it. You can't see it, but I can. Like, it's right here, here, here. I just can't. I can't because it took me a long time to do this one. I love it. This is a Cape May Victorian house that I absolutely love visiting when I go down there. You can go inside this one. You can't go inside a lot of houses down there, but you can tour this one. It has an awesome story to it. And I stitched this, and it took me a long time to do this, a couple months, because I was just getting back into it. And it looks pretty decent, you know? And it's got freaking hoop marks in it, and I done everything to get those out. So I won't even hang this up. Like, I am so emotional about this. But I will probably hang it up in my craft room just to display it, and it pisses me off. Excuse my mouth, but I want to just... Number 12 is what do you love and what do you hate about cross stitch? I love the artistic element of cross stitch, how you can take and just turn a piece of cloth and some threads and beads and, you know, charms or whatever else into a beautiful piece of artwork. And that's what cross stitch is. It's not crafting, it is art. A lot of people say, oh, you're a crafter. No, we're needle artists. It takes skill to be able to cross stitch the way we do. So don't ever forget that. You're an artist, you're not a crafter. I hate when my thread gets tangled, even though I let it dangle and I condition it, and I hate frogging because I'm the kind of person, if I have a mistake, I will frog. I won't say, oh, it doesn't look that bad. You won't ever be able to tell, because I will always see that mistake and I'll be like, you get out of there, mistake. So, have you introduced anyone else to cross stitch? I've tried and tried and tried. I tried to get my sister to do it. I bought her a beginning cross stitch kit for Christmas one year, and she tries, but she says she just can't do it. I want to give her like lessons to show her that she can, because everybody can. Number 14 is what was your first project and did you finish it? If not, what was your first finish? I'm gonna say one of my first projects was probably one of those little tiny ones you buy at the craft store that's like, you know, a little duck or a little cow or a cat or something. Probably finished it, don't know where it is. It's a long time ago, but my first real finish was this, and you can see it's filthy. Oh, that's the back of it. Was this, and you can see it's filthy. Probably has like makeup on it, because back then I just probably would be stitching as I was getting ready for work in the morning and didn't know any better. It has hoop marks in it. It needs to be pressed. It needs to be cleaned. And it is finished with cross stitches, but it's not finished with the beading and the charm pack. But I had found the charm pack when I moved last year. It's up in my jewelry box. So I'm going to try to find the instructions and attach the charm pack and clean it up and get it framed, because it's quite an accomplishment, and it's special to me. It's one of my first, you know, it is my first real finish. So. How do you store your floss is the last question, and for the longest time I used floss boxes and bobbins. I don't mind doing that, but it does get a little messy when you try to organize it, and once a year or so I do take it all out and organize it better. But lately when I get new skeins of floss, I keep them in plastic bags. I don't get floss away bags. I have a hard time finding them, honestly. In my craft stores, they just don't have them. So I use the little sandwich bags, the tiny little snack ones that are like the size of floss away bags, and I just keep them in there. It works out. When I get enough to make like a, you know, a box full of them, I'll have to figure out how I'm going to store them though, because right now I don't know. Right now they're just in my little container with my bobbin boxes. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was quite a bit of information and it's quite long, I'm sure. But hopefully soon I'll be bringing you more updates and more cross stitch stuff. And I had a lot of fun doing this video and this tag. And I hope to hear from all you soon. And bye! There's the sun again. I did one. I got distracted. There's a man. Here comes the sun. Doo 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 doo. Here comes the sun. And I say. Now the sun's in. Here comes the sun again. I can't win today.